What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell. Welcome back to Rap Talk. And today I want to talk about essentially the downfall of Gunplay. Now, if you haven't heard the news, obviously you're here watching it, you're trying to figure out what happened. Gunplay was charged and arrested with essentially domestic violence. Essentially, the scenario that we're told here is from his wife that he was playing Call of Duty, he was being wild loud late at night. You know, obviously the baby's trying to sleep. I'm sure his wife is trying to wind down for the night, all that stuff. This guy's just bugging out. And to also add to this, that Gunplay has been recently using drugs again. He's getting back into his old habits for whatever reason that may be. And so this kind of heightened it where you can't reason with the regular person. Be like, yo, you're being way too loud. Like, calming down. But Gunplay, being under the influence and having these things in his body, decides it's cool to start lashing out on his wife, going at his wife, and to the point of getting a rifle, holding the baby, and like holding the rifle to her. Now, that's wild to me. And I have to say, as I'm sitting here with all these recent stories of Gunplay that we've had over the last couple of months, the one most recently was when he was at a club, I believe for his wife's birthday, and many men was being played by a DJ, and Gunplay thought it was like a slap in the face or insult that this guy was playing 50 Cent. And Gunplay, yeah, pretty much lost it. He shoved his wife when he was trying to approach the DJ and get real aggressive with this guy. And the DJ obviously goes and makes a video the next day or the next couple days after saying like he didn't know anything about the 50 Cent and Gunplay beef. He seemed like a young guy. Makes sense, especially if you're not a huge like fan of 50 G-Unit. Like, you know, the stuff that happened between 50 and Ross and that whole backstory of how even like the groups got intertwined with that whole stuff. But mainly Gunplay would be like the main target out of that whole stuff outside of Rick Ross. So I say this all to say, Gunplay, if you haven't known, he's been a hothead from the longest time. Way back when we had, I think it was the BET Awards, that's when 50 and his guys essentially jumped Gunplay in the backstage. You could probably find the video clip somewhere around, but like, Gunplay's been a hothead and a wild cannon for the longest. And one of the things that, if you haven't already known this already, I'm like a huge like 50 fan. And one of the things that I feel like that, I don't know why, and Rick Ross, I feel like has kind of distanced himself for the many years that he's had success away from Gunplay, and probably other people that have Gunplay's characteristics. Because, yeah, you can't have it. You have these people in your crew, in your cliques, as 50 has said in his most recent interview with Brian J. Roberts, where they're going to ultimately be your downfall. You bring in the guy that like is ready to set it off, and he's going to find any reason to set it off so that you keep him around. And this is what I feel like Gunplay was to Rick Ross. He was just a guy to have around in case Rick Ross ever needs to sick out, yo, get 50, get whoever, get these guys out of my face. That's what I feel like Gunplay essentially was to Rick Ross. Now, it hasn't really worked out and panned out in his career. I don't know who really listens to Gunplay songs, who cares about Gunplay songs. I don't know, but this guy's been a loose cannon, a hothead. I don't know who would even want to get married to someone that has this type of energy because he's just wild bugging. But yeah, at this point, his wife is going to be filing for divorce. She says that she never wants that situation to happen again, especially with their baby. And like, yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't see this in the first place. This guy has shown us time and time again of like who this person is. And we're going to sit here and be like, am I shocked that happened? Slightly, only because he was talking, you know, big talk when DJ Envy and Rick Ross was going at it. And Envy brought up the whole GoFundMe that Rick Ross set up instead of just helping his friends, his buddy, his whatever, his goal man, hype man, whatever, with a situation. You create a GoFundMe, and then Gunplay goes and gets upset and puts out a video being like, yo, if you charge back the money you put in for the GoFundMe, you're wrong for that, and all that. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Gunplay, his career has pretty much been strung around as that, like, I don't know, drugged up wild guy. And it was only a matter of time until something happened like this to land him back in jail. Now, would I say that this was the situation that I saw coming for Gunplay? Nah. though he would have wilded and beat someone up or did something wild, I didn't think this guy would go to the extent of harming someone, or two people he loved, his daughter and his wife there. And it's just wild. Anyone that can sit here, pick up a gun, point it at you, like, anyone that knows anything about firearm safety, that's one of the rules. You don't aim it at something you're not willing to destroy. The fact that he was willing to sit here and take this rifle, aim it at his wife, whether it be armed or not armed, loaded or not loaded, is wild. At your wife, let alone like a stranger. It's wild to me. So, all in all, I just had to get my thoughts off on this as I'm sitting here, like, reading the police report, seeing what his wife is saying. And, like, yeah, it sucks. It's unfortunate. It's sad. But she's better off not being with this guy, finding someone else who's going to treat her better and not hold a rifle to her and threaten her safety, her daughter's safety. Who knows what's going to happen in the future if she continues in a relationship with Gunplay when he gets out of jail. I don't know. What comes after that? With that being said, those are my thoughts looking at the situation. I'd love to know everyone else's views, thoughts, feelings, all that stuff. Gunplay has had a wild career as pretty much being used by people. And it's like one of those things where you take some guy out of a bad neighborhood, bad situation, bad hand that they were dealt, and they can't seem to get it. They can't seem to make that transition. And that's what I feel like happened to Gunplay. All in all, those are my thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.